Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Another brutal night here in the NBA, man. January is tough right now. Going to go through the latest of the bad beats. We found some new, interesting, and creative ways to get completely dicked in the NBA tonight. 2-5, lost 3 units, but I'm looking forward to this positive regression, man, because it's been a rough 6 days. And to be fair, I sound like a whiny baby when you consider the run that we had leading up to the last 6 days. Making 15 units in 10 days is a nice run as well in the positive. So just got to deal with this, push through, keep going, and we'll get through the other side because the plays are still good. I have very, very, very few regrets. So we're going to take a look at how we did last night and get right into some winning plays here for Friday. The 2 wins on the card here, we got Walker Kessler on the boards. Should have laddered that one. He ended with 15. Got even money, though. And Isaiah Collier, really, really nice point guard for this team. Young man who is stepping up as Keontae George has been out for a couple games. He's now started 3 games in a row, looking at really nice numbers there. So we found that one. Shout out to the person who brought that in the live show yesterday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Great, great look to mention Collier and how he's looked since he came in the SL, the starting lineup. He did not get the 4 boards we needed. He had 3 in the third quarter, couldn't get 1 in the last 15 minutes. It happens. The assists were the thing for him. Those were really high at about 6.5, but he cruised past them, had ended with about 9 assists. So we got the RA, but we did not get the boards as we needed 1 more. So we'll continue to look at his stuff though. Whenever Keontae George and a bunch of these other guys like Collins and Collins and Clarkson are also out, but Kessler hooked us on the double-double. There's 1 hook for you, not to mention the 3.5 boards hook on Isaiah Collier. Ty Jerome was not a good look there, to be honest. He just wasn't stepping up to shoot as much with Caris LeVert playing in this game. And a lot of the times that we've taken Ty Jerome to go over on the threes and his shooting, it's been when Caris LeVert is also out and we can kind of rely on him to be the primary scorer for the second unit. That wasn't the case here because Caris LeVert was still playing with the second unit in this game. So Ty Jerome ended up not being a great look, even for the plus money. But DeAndre Hunter, this is another, he and Bane, it's the same sort of screw job, essentially, right? DeAndre Hunter and Desmond Bane both had 3 fouls by the second quarter. So they played like 6 minutes in the first half, couldn't do much about it. Bane was an extra painful hook tonight because he ended on 16 and he went to the free throw line with the ability to get 17, missed the free throw on purpose so that the team could try to get the tip in at the end of the game. It happens, man. It's how it goes. We've now lost 3.1. We're down, like I said, 10 units in the last 6 days after 15 units prior. So we're at 36.4 on the season. My goal to start the season was 60. So we're still over halfway there, but I'm maintaining this 100-unit goal. So we're not stopping. I got some plays here for Friday, even though there's some weirdness and wonkiness, as always, in the injury report. So definitely make sure you tune in 5:30 p.m. Eastern here on Friday. Producer David and I will be in there to get those plays and find some value. Hopefully we have some more injury report news that we can deal with by then, but I do have some stuff on the card already for tomorrow. So let's get it. As always, going to be using Props Madness here. This is the #1 tool for all things sports betting in the NBA and in the WNBA. So if you do not yet have an account, you can get a free week and a 25% off your first month if you use code LYB when you sign up. So make sure you do use that when you do sign up, if you do, because that will get you some free money there. But we're going to skip over these games we don't have enough info for. The Warriors on the back-to-back, ton of injuries in that one. So we can go right over to this Pelicans and 76ers game. And at least we already have the out tag here for Joel Embiid, so we don't got to guess, right? So I do want to show you the injury report that is the official NBA injury report, where these teams are sending this information to the NBA so they can send it right back to us. So let's just go right down here to today's games here as we're looking at Wednesday and pull up the injury report for this 76ers team alongside the Pelicans here. So for the Pellies, Ingram, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy out, DeJounte Murray questionable. And for the 76ers, we know that Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid are out, as is Kyle Lowry, KJ Martin, and of course, Jared McCain officially out for the season. So what we do with that info here, I can only really bank on this stuff for the 76ers. I don't really want to touch the Pelicans, especially when I don't know what's up with DeJounte Murray. Plus, the team's a tire fire in general, if we're being honest. But my starting point here, I wanted to get to Paul George and see if I could get the rebounds or assists for him. But look, man, when I was talking about how January is tough in the NBA, the books now have a lot more information that they can use to make these lines for us, right? And when they do, they're sharper because they have more data that tells them and informs them. So 6.5 rebounds for PG, that's a really sharp line. Without Joel Embiid, he's looking at some really nice numbers here. I'm going to pull up my numbers on NBA stats on off stuff, because if you look at the way that this roster is going to pan out for the 76ers here, what I did was I took a bunch of guys off court, Andre Drummond, Jared McCain, Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, take all those dudes off court, put the starting lineup that we're going to see tomorrow: Caleb Martin, Yabusele, Oubre, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. When we look at these guys and their standard stuff here, standard stats, when they're playing with this lineup, you can see for Paul George, he's at about, where are we at right here? 9.5 rebounds, 8 assists per game. So that per 36 minutes, to be specific. So that is a nice number there at per 36, but it's, first of all, I don't know for sure he's going to play 36 minutes. Second of all, he's not going to be playing the whole 36 minutes with this exact lineup, but it does show you, like, even if you just take Joel Embiid and Drummond and move them out and say they're not playing today, we take them off the out of the game. What we're looking at here for Paul George, 9 boards, and right here we're basically averaging 5.5 boards, which is right where he's at. And same for the assists, averaging a little bit more on the assists. But even if you just take Joel out and leave Drummond in, still about 5.8 assists. So you either got to take him to get 6 for very good odds, or you got to take him at 4.5 for very bad odds. I don't really want to mess with either of that stuff. So I'm actually staying away from Paul George, although I'm leaning towards the rebounds and assists if I go to him. So we're going to talk about that one some more tomorrow, but we're already losing juice on this, like minus 115 at 11.5 when he's averaging 11 in the games without Joel. It's tough, right? Like, I do think he's the one who's going to be diming up more than, say, like Tyrese Maxey, but I want to wait and see what the market pressure does to Paul George as well before I go ahead and bet on. Other look would be Yabu here. Yabusele, got to at least consider him on the boards when you've got both Drummond and Joel out. So if we take Joel out, we also take Drummond out, and we remove them from the floor here, we're going to see really nice numbers on the boards. 9 per game in 5 games here, over in 4 of 5. 1 under was against Orlando, really good rebounding team, who still had a few guys in there. I believe they still had Mo and not Franz or Paolo, but everybody else, unlike right now where they're super injured. So now that you got him going up against this Pelicans team, that's not good, man. I mean, they are 26th in rebounding allowed to the opponent. They are giving up where's the defensive rating? Second worst defensive rating in the league at 29. So this team is a complete tire fire. They might be a little bit better with Zion in there. I still wouldn't really know. He hasn't helped their defense. Honestly, he hasn't really helped their rebounding either. So I think Yabu, even at 7.5 or plus money, once again, want to see what the market does. I want a few more books to have this option available, but we're definitely going to be eyeing his rebounds on that live show tomorrow. Tried Kelly Oubre on the points last game when he played without Paul George. Now he's got Paul George, and I just don't think it's there for him. I'm going back to my on-off numbers here and just showing you Kelly Oubre. Even take him, let's say we take Caleb Martin and we remove him from the floor. So now we're just looking at what Kelly does with Yabu, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, because Caleb Martin will probably get the fewest minutes of the starters. He's got 90 minutes with this type of lineup. He's at about 8 boards per game, but only at about per 36 minutes, let me be specific, and about 14 points per 36 minutes. 14 points. He's got the 15.5 number here. I don't think that's good. I don't think Kelly's just a lock. Once you have Paul George and Tyrese Maxey out there, you're going to have some guys that are eating into his usage. So I'm actually going to end up staying away from Kelly. I think this stuff is too high. If anything, I would start to look to fade him on things like rebounds and assists, even points, rebounds, and assists. It's a very, very high number for someone who isn't getting that much of the usage when he's playing with Maxey and Paul George, like he will be on Friday here. Skipping right over anything for the Pellies, like I said, we can at least get into this Kings and Celtics game, because we know that for the injury report for the Celtics, as I come over here and look at them versus the Kings tomorrow, we can see no one that we've seen before is really going to be on this injury report. No Tatum, no Brown, no Holiday, no KP, Porzingis, or anything. So they're good to go, which actually helps us look at how this starting lineup and these 5 have played together, which we'll do in one sec. On the Kings side, still got to wait for De'Aaron Fox. He's too important to what happens to this team to be able to make a bet on someone on the Kings without knowing if he's there or not, right? So let's go into more of this NBA advanced staff stuff and look at the Celtics and how their starting 5 has played together this season. So I pulled up Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. They've all played on court together 84 minutes over the course of 6 games. So you can see not very many games that they've even played all at the same time because of so many guys in and out of the lineup for Boston, which is by design so that they can stay healthy for the playoffs. But if we look at these 84 minutes, let's just start with the points. We've got D. White at about 16 points per 36. You've got Jaylen Brown at 18 points per 36. Tatum 24. Holiday 9, and KP 20. And that's the thing that stands out to me at first here is Kristaps Porzingis is at 20 points per 36 when he's playing with this team, this lineup specifically. He's averaging 16 shots per 36, which is the same as Tatum leading this team in the course of the minutes that they're on the floor together. So I think for him to be down here at 17 and a half, even though he's taking more shots when he's on the court with Jaylen Brown, I think you got to look at his points and go 17 and a half is too low. He's averaging 18 on the season, first of all. He's also averaging 18 when he plays with all these starters, which has happened in 7 total games where he's seen minutes that those dudes were playing as well. Tatum, Brown, Holiday, and Derek White, right? So in those games, over in 5 of 7, 18 points per game, not a lot of breathing room, but he went under in this game against Washington where he played 11 minutes because they didn't need him, so he didn't need to be out there. And then in this game against the Clippers, took 12 shots, played 23 minutes. This was one of his first games back in the lineup, so I'm not going to hold him to that. I think you're going to see him play the 36, 30, 32 minutes that he's been playing since he's gotten healthy and back into playing shape when he's playing with these dudes. So you give him 32 minutes in this one. He's already at, like I said, 20 points per 36. He should be good for a projection of about 19 to 20 points if he plays 32 minutes. And that's all the stuff I've got him for. So we're looking at his points here for tomorrow and putting that on the card on Friday. A couple other value spots in this game because we've got the lineup so we can at least look at it. Jaylen Brown assists. Look at what he's done in the games that he's played with all 4 of the other guys in the starting lineup, averaging 4.7, which is where he's at on the season. But this 4 number, he just keeps hitting it, right? If you got this at 4+ and use it and add it as a parlay leg to something that you also really like, I think Jaylen Brown 4 assists, even at about minus 200 or whatever it's at when you can get it, probably actually closer to like minus 160, 170. I'm still good with using that as a parlay leg to juice up something else. I think the assists are really underrated for him. When you look at the way he dimes up when he plays, he actually has a few more assists per 36 minutes than Tatum when they're playing on the floor together. Now, I do like to take Jaylen Brown assists when he's playing teams that are better at defending the paint. That is something that you'll see he does more of. So if I actually show you how to find that real quick, you can look at Jaylen, and reason is pretty obvious, just to be clear, right? Jaylen Brown, when he goes up against teams that have shot blockers or bigger defenders that can guard him, which is a very big, strong forward, then he's more likely to have to pass on the drive rather than shoot. So if we look at opponents' points in the paint, right, and see who is a very good team at limiting points in the paint and how has Jaylen Brown done diming up when he's played the top 10 paint defenses in the league. You can see a little bit better than his normal average. The Kings are actually very good, 3rd in terms of limiting paint points, despite the fact that you don't think of Sabonis as like a really good defender down low. This team has gotten a lot better at defending that paint. I was going to say with Mike Brown, but he's not the head coach anymore. So I do think that it's a good look here for him on the dimes, playing with Kristaps. This is something that he's done a bit more often. So 4 is where I'm at. I don't even know if I like 5 for plus 124, but I'll definitely be looking to use the 4+ assists for JB as a parlay leg. The other look here, the system play that we've been talking about is Tatum rebounds when he plays with Kristaps. A couple things going on here. No need to rush this bet. You can already see 9.5 to the over on DraftKings is plus 114 for Tatum. We might get this at 8.5. So I'm going to play this like the stock market and see if it moves in my favor so I can buy at the right spot. Buy low, sell high, obviously. The thing, too, is like it's not just a system play about Tatum playing with Kristaps. Automatically, he gets the boards. It's also when he's playing with the rest of this starting lineup. When he's got Jaylen Brown out there, when he's got good defenders like Holiday and Derek White out there with him, he's a lot more likely to be able to go board up. And that's the other thing about Kristaps being out there is he doesn't have to guard usually the best big or best, taller player, at least on the other team. Because Tatum's guarding 1 through 5. And when Kristaps isn't out there, they're much more likely to put Tatum on a guy who like is a versatile center who can score than say an Al Horford who's not as good moving his feet in that sense. No shade because he's still very good. He's just not Jason Tatum. So that opens up Tatum to get the rebound. You can see he's at 14.8 rebounds per 36 minutes when he's playing with this starting lineup. So playing alongside the other starters does impact things for his rebounds. And we saw him go under a few times on the boards here over the course of the last few games. Got 9 against the Pacers. Who was missing in that game? There were some missing players in that one for them. So if we look at the Pacers, Kristaps was missing. So was Drew Holiday. Kristaps was missing against the Raptors. And then he failed to get it against the Nuggets when Kristaps was playing. But that was also because Joker wasn't out there, which actually seemed to lead to more Kristaps rebounds, which we actually took. But now we're going to come back. We're still going to get a really good number here because he has gone under in 3 of 4 lower at the 9.5 number. So just be a little bit patient, but know that this is another good spot to go over on the rebounds for Tatum, because there's more to it than just Kristaps plus Tatum equals Tatum rebounds. It's Kristaps plus Tatum plus the other starters, and you're looking at a really good value bet here on his boards. One more look for you guys for tonight while we're still waiting on some injury news, and we'll go to this OKC New York game, which is in New York. Bit of a revenge spot for the Knicks, but they do have Cat listed questionable. Seems like he's probably good to go. They did sort of sit him a little bit here in the last game where they just finally won one against the Raptors by 14. And so they only played, how many minutes did Cat play here? Let's pull him up. Cat played in that game 34 minutes, so he was pretty healthy. Like, I don't think there's any reason to think that he's not able to play full minutes in this OKC game. So I do think he's going to be a go. But that said, like, if he gets ruled in, this Mikal Bridges bet that I already like at 17.5, probably going to get better value on it once Cat is officially ruled in. So you wait for that moment to come tomorrow on Friday at some point. Cat gets ruled in, Mikal Bridges, we go back to him, probably going to get 17.5 either for a better number. Maybe we get 16.5, which would be stupid. I know how good this defense is, but this is the type of player that you take, and we did. Last time they played, he had, what he put up, 24 against them in this last game. 41 minutes, the shots are there for him. And if you want to start with the matchup, this is the type of player that you take against the Thunder. He's shooting all spot up and catch and shoot stuff, right? So anybody who's catch and shoot against this Thunder defense, which pressures the crap out of the ball, so they force the ball out of the primary ball scorers and ball handlers' hands. That gets it into the hands of shooters who are waiting to spot up and catch and shoot. That's Mikal Bridges, so we love the matchup. The other thing here is this dude has just become the clear-cut second option on offense for this team. Now, Cat, when he's fully healthy, yes, it's going to be Jalen Brunson, Cat. That action is going to be the number one play. But they're going to Mikal Bridges to say, go get a bucket before they go to even Cat and just say, here, go get the ball in isolation and get a bucket. That's what they're doing for Bridges. And most importantly for this game, it's going to be him getting the catch and shoot stuff off of Brunson. So don't really like Brunson points. Let's make that clear. But I do think that he'll be able to get his own shot as well. Even though there's going to be good defenders out there, obviously, for the best defense in the league for the Thunder, this is the dude off the catch and shoot, plus just taking 15, 16 shots. Like, that's what he's been at for the past roughly 20 games, is almost about 16 and a half shots per game. If you do this quick filter for Mikal, or we'll just show what happens when he plays, takes at least 15 shots this season, he's at 20.5 points, a couple more than his normal average. And he's been doing this in the later part of the season, more so than much earlier, because he's really come around and this offense has begun to find itself, giving Mikal the sort of secondary scoring option for the squad. So we're going to probably be taking him at 17.5, but man, if we can get 16.5 tomorrow, that is a slam spot. All right, hope to see y'all on the live show tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be there waiting. Producer David, and myself will be on there taking your bets. You jump in the comments, tell us what you want to look at. We go over that stuff together and try to find that value as all the info's coming out. That's why this thing is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern every day. We're starting to get the rotation news, starting lineup news, and official injury reports. So hope to see y'all there tomorrow. And until I do, happy betting.